What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 9 of the Raw Footage Podcast here on our Shot 6 Times YouTube Horror Movie channel. As you know, I'm your host and creator, Marcus. It's going to be a fun stream tonight, everyone. I gave it a couple weeks before I decided to talk about some Scream 7 spoilers in depth in regards to doing a live stream. I did do a 30-plus minute spoiler review. I want to say almost closing in on a week ago. And so I'm super excited to really get in depth in Scream 7. If you guys watched that spoiler review, sorry if you hear my phone ringing in the background. I'm having a phone call coming through, but I can't get to it right now. But if you guys know my initial thoughts on this movie, you guys know I'm a little bit down on it, but we are going to talk about some highs of this movie as well as the lows and where I think ultimately it could have done better and where it did do some things right and where it did do some things wrong and stuff. So this is definitely going to be a fun conversation. I can't wait to really get in depth with it because I've been holding out because I know some of you guys weren't able to go see it the opening weekend, and I wanted to wait so I didn't spoil anything for everybody. So now the time has come to where we are going to get extra spoily and really get into the weeds. And I will also say I do have a guest here with me tonight. I am going to bring them on here very shortly. But before I do that, I do want to get to the comment section, check everybody else out, see how everybody's doing tonight, do a blanket hello, and then we'll get this party started. I did see this a little bit earlier from DJ. What's going on, brother? Hope you're having a great night. For the love of horror, saying, hey, Marcus, what's going on? I hope you're having a great night. Matthew, already commented back to you. I hope you get better, my friend. DJ saying it's been slow, but it's the weekend and 12 inches of snow on the way. Oh, wow. I don't know if it's going to be anything like that here out my way, but I kind of hope not because this past week the weather was actually pretty decent. It was like a nice tease of spring. So kind of want that weather to stay around, you know. Yo, what's up, Josh? Hope you're having a great night. Glad to see you here. Anna Camp tells the Hollywood Reporter she knows there's a hashtag Screammate in the works and would love to come back as a twin of Jessica's from hashtag Scream 7. Okay, so let me save that because we'll talk about that later. I'll give you my answer to my response in regards to that statement from Anna Camp. Yo, what's up, Dom? Hope you're having a great night. Joshua is saying this is a real article that came out today. Okay. All right. We'll check it out, man. But we're going to definitely talk about that here in a little bit. I started just so we can come back to that comment because that's interesting to me. Yo, what's up, Tatum? Tatum G4X saying, hi, I shot him 6 times. Let's talk Scream 7. Yes, absolutely. We have 20 people here right now. If you guys haven't done so already, shoot the like button. It definitely helps out. And I will also note at the end of this episode of the podcast, be sure to come back to the stream and shoot the hype button. That also helps a lot. Helps get this stream a little bit more notice in the aftermath of it going live. DJ saying I'll call sequel. Okay. I mean, yeah, they're definitely going to make a Scream 8. They made too much money to not make a Scream 8. So I definitely do think it's going to happen. Obviously, they're going to have to find a new director. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what direction they're going to go in next. Yo, what's up, Paula? Hope you're having a great night. Paula's saying, sorry I'm late. Now you're actually on time. I just started only a few minutes ago. So we're good. And I was actually on time tonight. Who would have thunk that? I'm usually always the one who's late. What's going on, Gina? Saying hi, everyone. I'm glad you can make it tonight. Glad to see you. And Gina, let me know, did you get to see Scream 7 yet? Because I know when Scream 6 came out, you said you had to wait till it came out on DVD, I think, or on streaming for you to watch it. So let me know. At Spicy Oreo 15, what's going on, Spicy? Saying, I'm in no way a Jessica hater. I like her more than Wayne, Ethan, and Richie. Ooh, that's an interesting take. And I liked her acting more than a lot of other killers. The reveals are weak, though I don't fully care about the reveals, though. Okay. All right, that's interesting. I'm actually going to star that, too, because I want to come back to that as well. Interesting. Yo, what's going on, Carrie? Saying Ghosty, what's up? Oh, I'm chilling, Carrie. You already know. Ready to get into the weeds of Scream 7. I'm finally letting my presence be felt. I gave it a couple weeks. I did drop a couple little videos along the way, but I've been kind of playing it low key because I really wanted to digest this movie, watch it a few more times before I decided to go live and really dig in and stuff like that. So this is definitely going to be a fun conversation, Carrie. I'm glad to see you here. Tatum saying, I love your ghost face behind you. Yeah, thank you. I actually got to get a fresh battery, a set of batteries for it because it actually lights up. But the bad boys died on me, so I got to go out and get some new batteries for it. I got that in Kentucky at one of the after party events they had. Like it was basically like at a bar, and they had like a little station where you can buy some things, little perks and stuff. And that was sitting there, and I was like, "Yep, got to grab that." Plus, they didn't have any Halloween, like any Michael Myers, so I was like, "Of course, if they got a Ghostface one, I'm gonna take that." Paula saying, "Nice to see you." It's nice to see you too, Paula. Yo, what's up, J Rod? Glad to see you here. Hope you're having a great night. Tatum saying, Anna Camp, not so happy. So not happy. Okay. So I'm assuming you're saying you're not too happy with Anna Camp's performance and her character in this movie. Let me know. Yes, thank you, DJ. Yes, after the stream is over, definitely shoot that hype button that shows up after the stream is over. Definitely helps out a lot. Thank you as well, Carrie. Both of you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. All right, I think I'm pretty good. Carrie saying, I want Stu to be alive. I was more excited about Kevin having a fresh, clean slate for 8, but now with him saying he won't return, it concerns me where Scream will go. Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to start that too, because I got to go back to that because a lot of interesting topics to talk about in regards to this movie, and as well as the aftermath, what has been spoken about over the last few days, especially the news that Kevin won't be returning for 8. Yeah, we're definitely going to dig in and talk about that because now Scream 8 is back to where Scream 7 initially was. No director, no real direction on where they're going to go. So they sure know how to fucking fuck with us, don't they? They get their money and they peace out. Tatum saying, yes, I don't like her being the killer. I hated it. All right. Hell yeah. We're definitely going to talk about that, Tatum. I'm going to recap how I feel about things and stuff. I am about to bring my guest on. I don't want to keep them waiting too much longer, but I am going to get to these last couple of comments before I do. Carrie saying, another topic you can talk about, Ghosty, is Anna Camp on her interview. Yep. She talked about how she was given free reign to improvise the third act. She said she wanted more screen time. She only got Gail. I'm assuming there's more coming after that, Carrie. But yeah, star that too. You guys are coming in hot with these comments. These are definitely a lot of stuff that we were going to talk about, but we were going to definitely get a little bit in depth with it for sure. All right, so without wasting any more time, I am going to bring on my guest. And I do want to say real quick, what's up, John? I see your comment. Jessica was a worthless ghost face. We're going to talk about that for sure, but I don't want to keep my guest waiting too much longer. He has been a loyal supporter of this channel for quite some time, though he mainly stays behind the scenes. He, sometimes he'll pop up, have some conversation with you guys in the chat and stuff like that. But for the most part, he likes to remain low key. But over the last couple of weeks here, we've talked about collabing, getting together for a live stream regarding Scream 7 and so on and so forth. And he's here with me tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome to the panel, XV Ryan.
What is going on?
What's
How
up,
you
bro?
guys doing? My fellow I shot him 6 times family. How's everybody doing tonight?
Man, I will say this. I'm doing quite all right. I'm super happy to be getting back into the fold with live streaming and discussing some Scream 7, but also we have some other stuff coming out. Obviously, the Friday the 13th stuff, the Crystal Lake series.
Yeah.
So I'm just super excited to get back into the fold, but more so to talk about Scream 7 and really digest everything and break things down and be here with you guys tonight and going forward, as this is going to basically be this is the first part of a multi-stream series breaking down Scream 7 spoilers, where I'm going to have multiple guests coming on, sharing their thoughts and,
Hmm.
their perspective on how they view this movie, so on and so forth. Because, and I don't know if you'll agree with this, but I do feel like this movie in some ways is a little bit divisive amongst the fandom. Do you agree with that?
I absolutely agree, 110%. I personally find myself kind of leaning back and forth every day on my definitive opinion on this movie, but
Right.
I'm hearing different opinions for sure. I definitely say divisive for sure.
Yeah, man. There's definitely some things I will say this they could have done better from a writing standpoint. Some writing choices that I think a lot of us spotted that were kind of just like you could have done better with that.
Mhm.
Especially in regards to previous characters and the aftermath of where they're at and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I'm like you said, I want to like this movie. I really do, but I battle with the stuff that they did, and I'm just like, I want to like this movie. There is some things they did that was cool and that was good, but then there's some things, some glaring weaknesses that it's just like I can't,
Yeah.
I just can't overlook that. And I will say this, and I want to ask you after this, but this is my lowest ranked Scream movie. Is this your lowest ranked Scream movie, or do you have something that's lower?
Honestly, yes. Unfortunately,
Okay.
with the release of Scream 7, this is now my least favorite out of all of them. I love all of them, even this one, in its own, it has its own charm and stuff, but this is probably the bottom of the totem pole, unfortunately. And it hurts to say that because I know we all wanted so much more from this film, but what we have and what we've had time to think about now for a few weeks, unfortunately, it is my least favorite.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I feel like when you're watching this movie, it's a tale of two different movies that they were trying to do. Like there's the Stu Macher movie, and then there's the movie we got. And I feel like they tried to blend that in when, especially the ending that they gave us, they didn't need to do that. Like the ending in the Killers that we got, we didn't need any of the AI stuff to tell this story.
I
Do you
agree.
agree with that?
Yes, 110%. I was just going to elaborate a little bit.
Yeah, go for it.
E- even even without the whole AI and stew portion of this movie, I still think like fundamentally from a filmmaking and from like a story beat perspective, I think the writing is just piss poor. Um,
Right.
I mean, even some of the like, there's exposition in this movie that I guess there has been in other movies. For example, when we're introduced to Lucas, he's like, I'm a crime junkie, mom. It's kind of my thing, and that's kind of all we get from him in that. There's
Right.
no there's no maybe we could have got maybe he's like ending a podcast or something, and he has a lower viewer count or something. In Scream 4 with Robbie, he had the webcam on his head the whole time.
Yep.
It kind of the writing, the characters in this movie, they just it. I don't know.
There's
They
no
just
depth
didn't do
to
it.
him. We just
Yeah,
meet him. We just meet him, and then we get a few moments of them, and then they die.
yeah, and that sucks, especially
Yeah,
for this seventh one.
yeah, it definitely does. Because one thing, and we kind of had that issue with Scream 5 with the new characters that they brought into that movie. And then in Scream 6, they did a better job with the character development. And now in Scream 7, because of the shakeup, now you have the same problem that you have with Scream 5, to where you're not really getting no character development. The people that you do see for the most part, like Tatum is like the only one who got any real character development out of all of the new characters.
Yeah.
Everybody else was just there to be there. And that's not how it used to be. The first four movies, everybody who was a part of the main group that we saw had character development. You got to know them.
Yeah, exactly.
In this movie, and it's like the opportunities were there for it. I don't understand. I don't understand what this writing team's problem is with continuing things. They seem to have a problem with not wanting to follow up on certain things and with certain characters. And it's problematic because when Wes Craven was around, and I will say this, I feel like this franchise is starting to show the kinks in its armor without him
Yeah,
because you didn't
definitely.
have these type of issues. Everybody got character development. Everybody. Hell, what's I'm about to say? What's her name? Carrie Fisher in Scream 3 got
Oh yeah.
better character development than the characters that were in Scream 7.
Hmm.
It's just
I agree.
it's shocking to me that when these guys are writing these stories, you don't think to expand upon certain characters that might actually have potential for a good story arc, like a Ben. This was your golden opportunity, in my opinion, to officially say the boyfriend being the killer is a dead thing in this franchise.
Hmm.
I liked Ben's character. For the little bit that we got him, I liked him. And what I wanted to see was a story arc to where even if he gets poked up a little bit or he gets roughed up a little bit, at the end, he helps Sydney save Tatum. So he proves to Sydney
Yeah.
he's not a Billy Loomis. It's character development like that we're not getting anymore in these past, well, 2 out of 3 films. And I'm starting to wonder if it's time for maybe the Radio Silence team to maybe look for somebody else to write these movies. What do you think about that? Do you think it's time for Guy Busick to step down as the writer and as well as sometimes James Vanderbilt? Do you think it's time for the Radio Silence team as a whole to, okay, if they want to produce it, but maybe
Mhm.
find somebody else outside of their own team to write these movies? Because I feel like they're, and I don't know, maybe you disagree. Their version of Scream movies kind of remind me of Ready or Not a little bit.
Okay.
What do you think about
It's
that?
I think it's time for a fresh set of ideas. I do. I think we should get a new writer, and I think we should get a whole new director as well. Um, you know, shout out to Critical Overlord. You know, he had mentioned something in a video the other day. He mentioned it's not impossible for someone other than Kevin Williamson to write a good Scream movie.
Oh no.
And I agree wholeheartedly. You know, even if Kevin steps away entirely from this next installment, the potential for another great Scream sequel is so vast, and
Yeah.
it would excite me if we got a new writer or a new team. Personally, I mean, just some of the ideas that some of us fans have had, it's like, wow, that would have been so much better than what we got. You know, it's
Right.
I've heard ideas from people in chat. I mean, we could have
Yes.
gone so many other different directions. And as you mentioned with these side characters, it's like you think back to Scream One. You know, we had a scene in the video store with Randy, Billy, and Stu. You
Yeah.
know, I feel like it would have been I feel like it's unheard of in Scream 7 to have a scene without either Tatum or Sydney. I mean, I would have liked to see maybe Ben, Lucas, Chloe, and Hannah are like hanging out or doing something, talking about something.
Right.
Maybe, you know, and Pamela touched on this. Maybe she lived a little bit longer and they threw that party that night, and we got a little bit more development or something. You know, give us something. We've gone through so much since the last movie, and this is what we got, guys. You know, so
Right.
I agree with you. We could benefit from a new writing team for sure.
Yeah, man, I really with because I always thought, and this was just my perception, that out of the two, Guy Busick was the better writer by a little bit than James Vanderbilt, especially if we were going to get a Stu Macher alive return movie. Now I'm all but tapped out, man. Like in regards to him trying to explain how Stu could be alive and could come back. Like it's like they teeter around it and then they don't do it. And I don't understand it. It's either they're gonna do it or you're not. Just
Yeah.
stop playing around with us and stop giving us all these open-ended Easter eggs that in my opinion, prove he is alive. Like it's just it's kind of annoying at this point. It's like go all in or don't go at all. So it's just really frustrating and it's disappointing, like that they made some of the writing choices that they made. And we're gonna touch on some of them writing choices after we talk a little bit to the chat because I do want to touch on some of these comments here and
For
catch
sure.
up with them. Carrie's saying, here's the problem. Scream 7 was doomed from the very start, with Melissa having the scandal up to Christopher Landon stepping down as director and Kevin stepping in. It was doomed from the start. I can kind of agree with that. What do you think about that, Ryan?
Um, I want to say I don't want to. It kind of seemed that way in the beginning, and I had that mindset for a long time. But then when Nev got brought back and Kevin got involved, I really thought that we had a chance for
Right.
like a fresh. I thought there was enough there for us to have a fresh slate. Honestly, I'm not giving nobody no passes this time, bro. Y'all could have did better than this.
No,
I
I
got to
don't.
be honest. That's my honest, brutal fan opinion. We could have still had a great movie, I think.
Yeah, there was definitely some things in here. Like they just I see what they were trying to do with certain things, but it's like they had so many ideas, they just didn't know exactly which one to sit on and really go with. That's what I feel. Like they were kind of all over the place. Do you want to tell a story between Sydney and her daughter? Do you want to tell a Stu Macher story? Or do you want to tell a story about this obsessed fan who's obsessed with Sydney and not the stab movies? Like there's
Yeah,
three different conundrums of a storyline that I feel like it got too over convoluted, and then that's why it came out the way that it came out. And I will say this in regards to Carrie's comment, like I do think in regards to like it being doomed from the start, there you can say that. I also do think though when Kevin came back and when Nev came back, especially when that happened with Kevin, we had this perception that, oh, okay, now we're finally going to get Stu back. This is fun, So I think going into it with that thought, that's kind of was like, okay, maybe we're not doomed after all. And then once Matthew got announced, it was like, yes, it's fucking go time.
yeah.
And then they just didn't. I
They
will
knew what.
say this, though,
Mhm.
and I'll get into it a little bit later or whatever, from what I read, and I don't know how official it is, but from what I read of what that alternate ending would have looked like, and this is going to sound nuts, they chose the better ending. And I cannot believe I'm saying that. But
Oh God.
according to what I read, and I'll touch on it a little bit later. We'll get into it a little bit more deeper. But I'll tease it like this. Stu Macher would have not been the Stu Macher we knew and loved. That's all I'm going to say for right now.
Okay.
uh TTV Maggot Head 1, what's going on? Saying, I love Scream 7, saw it finally today, can't wait for the A film. Hey, that's awesome. Like, I know there are actually a lot of people that really like this movie, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you like this movie, awesome, because then we're going to keep getting more movies. I just hope that if we're going to keep getting more movies, I enjoy those movies a little bit more than I enjoyed this one. Like,
Mhm.
I personally don't care for Scream 7 too much, but if you do, that's what's up because that means you found something in this movie that made it enjoyable for you. And that's all any of us should really hope for. Even if we ourselves, like individually, don't care for a movie, we should always hope that somebody else found enjoyment in it.
Yeah, for real. Shout out to you, Maggot Head, for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to say what's up to Val real quick because I did pour a comment up on the stream, but I did not get to say what's up. What's going on, Val? I hope you're doing well. And I love you, and I'm glad to see you here hanging out with us. Okay. John, what's going on, man? John Best, 1978, saying the first video call was really Stu, and the AI version was the ending scene. I personally think just look at the difference in the scars. So, Ryan, before I share my comments on this, what do you think about that? Do you think that first video call was really Stu Macher?
I think that I think that there's an argument to be made that there's a significant difference in the type of phone calls or the type of video call that we're seeing between that first one and the
Mhm.
rest of them. Um, I think it could have worked had they actually brought Stu back. That first phone call, I think
Yes.
it would have been way more significant in hindsight. Um, I still think that there could be something there. I don't know 100% if, that I don't want to say, yeah, that was definitely him in the first one. However, it could be. There's a lot of differences there. And I
Yeah.
don't want to say that it's just like a lack of attention to detail, but I think it's intentional. There's definitely, but they do that all the time. And then they say we're dumb for thinking these things. So
Yes. And then defy their own logic in the same sentence of saying we're dumb. it it's mind boggling. But yeah, I agree that the first call, there's an argument to be made that that was real. And the reason why I believe so is I've ever since that this movie came out and these last couple of weeks where I've been kind of, taking things slowly in regards to putting out content and stuff, I've really been trying my hardest to really dig into the details of AI. And the one thing that I came to the conclusion of is that for a live call, it would be very difficult for them to use AI and move around in that way without there being blemishes or glitches. Even Ben in the movie states that himself.
mhm,
There's also the fact that some people will say, oh, it was a pre recorded video. That's a little bit of a stretch. He's literally talking, like word for word, he's matching Sydney's reactions.
yeah, he's
That's
responding to her.
Yes, that I'm sorry. That's very difficult to do, even with AI and stuff like that. So I definitely do think that first call, and I even personally think the second, oh no, what was it? The third call at the bar. I think that one's real too. I think the reason why the scarring doesn't look as deep is because that light is glaring heavily on his face. But
Okay.
if you look at the appearance of first call Stu and third call Stu, he looks like a drifter. His hair is a little bit messy. He looks a little bit more grizzled, a little bit more older. The scars are really well noticeable compared to the second call when Gail's in Sydney's house and he's taunting Gail. That's clearly AI. Clearly AI. There's no doubt about it. And then obviously when we get to the end where we get everybody in AI and
Yeah.
stuff. So I I do believe that first call was real. I think in a way I'm like 50-50 on it. I feel like they kept that in the movie because that was a part of the movie they were going to reveal him alive. But then when I read, and I'm just like, okay, maybe that's not it. One way or another, they're still leaning into him being alive, in my opinion. Like the opening scene, I think he killed Madison and Scott.
Okay. Interesting.
The reason why I believe that is because when Ghostface, when Madison, when Scott goes to basically put on a costume and scare her and all that, and she's calling for him because she thinks he's in the bathroom, whatever. That Ghostface that's in that room obviously is not the animatronic one anymore. That's the real Ghostface.
Right.
And we hear them say they'll never make it in time. We're not finished yet. That dialogue is from Casey Becker's scene in the opening scene. Only Stu Macher would know that. Because that dialogue itself did not make it into the Stab movie because nobody would have known what that dialogue would have sounded like.
Yeah, exactly.
So when I hear things like that, and some people have commented and been like, "Oh no, that still doesn't matter. Stu's dead, whatever." Okay, if that was the animatronic Ghostface doing that or saying that, you got me dead to rights. But it
Yeah,
wasn't. That was actually the human Ghostface underneath that costume saying that dialogue. Even though, and we talked about this during our test stream earlier or whatever, even though the dialogue, it did kind of sound like it was coming from the animatronic one,
yeah,
but it wasn't. Like I don't like you said earlier, I don't know if they was having some technical difficulties or whatever, but that voice modulator did sound more like the one that came from the animatronic one when it was supposed to be the human one.
yeah, exactly.
Horror Lover 23 saying, I think Scream 7 was intentionally filmed and written how it was, as it will could play a big part in 8 if another director brings Stu back. That's interesting. So
Hmm.
what do you think about that, Ryan? Because there was rumors months ago leading into this movie that Scream 7 storyline was supposed to bleed into Scream 8. Now, with Kevin not coming back as director, I don't know how accurate that's going to turn out to be. But what do you think? Do you think Scream 7's story could bleed into 8 and it could subsequently, depending on who the director and the writers are, could they bring back Stu in Scream 8?
I think that they could do that if they wanted to if they wanted to really do us justice. Someone else could pick up where they left off and actually deliver it this time. But I also see them wanting to go into a completely different direction creatively.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then again, that would also leave the opportunity for a lot more stew clues to be planted. So I think so. I think that Stu could still come back. I know we all want him to. I think with the right creatives behind it, they could piece together the mess that was the way that this movie ended, and they could do right by us.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely still leave breadcrumbs laid down for it to happen. I mean, the missing coroner's report, what I just talked about in the opening scene, that first phone call, there is definitely still things. And then also, I'd be remiss if I didn't say the way that Hannah was killed with Ghostface, holding both hands on the
Mhm.
knife.
Yeah,
You know, I think the breadcrumbs are still there for it to happen, but we've gotten breadcrumbs since Scream 5. And
true.
that's the bitch about it. We've gotten all these breadcrumbs since then, but nothing has come to fruition with it.
Fruition.
It's just like
Yes.
they keep putting little breadcrumbs down. Each cluster keeps getting bigger, but they just won't give us the whole fucking meal. Like they just won't give us the whole thing. And I'm not understanding what the problem is. Like a lot of people can say, "Oh, well, it's been so much time. How are they going to explain that?" It's not that difficult to explain. Real life serial killers disappear for years on end all the time and then resurface to kill again whenever they feel the urge or feel it's the right time, I guess, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So it would not be that difficult to explain, in my opinion.
No, it can definitely still be expanded upon. And
Yes. Okay. I am going to zoom through some of these comments because I know I'm a little bit behind. Tatum saying everyone was hooked on Scream 1 through 4. Yeah, because the continuity, everything was, for the most part, well paced, well placed. Everything made sense in regards to the killers, their motives, so on and so forth. Like, you didn't have these plot holes, like, you didn't also have these killers, even though I know a lot of people don't like Scream 4's killers and Jill and Charlie. Let's really be honest. Jill and Charlie are more believable, more intimidating killers than I'd like to say any of the killers that we have gotten in the last 3 movies. If you
I
want to
agree.
argue Quinn, okay, you can throw her in there, but we didn't get enough of her. But to me, Jill and Charlie were the last like real like serious killers we had.
Yeah, I mean Charlie was vicious, dude.
Yeah, man. And I can't wait because this week I'm dropping my video in regards to the conversation that I had with Roy Calkin in Tampa.
Oh, that's gonna be a good one. I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah, I pitched him my idea. I told him my clues. I showed him the evidence that, I believe he's alive and stuff like that. And to boil it down, he basically, once he heard everything, he wants it to happen. He wants to come back.
Oh, he's game. Let's
He's
go.
game. Yes, he is game. The idea I pitched, he actually is on board with it, and that made me so happy because I remember before a few years ago when asked about could Charlie ever return and stuff if they made it make sense, he kind of felt like that chapter was closed. So
Yeah,
hearing
I
him
remember
saying,
hearing that.
what I have, obviously it would be him and Kirby.
Hmm.
That's the whole hook right there, or whatever. Being that Kirby's in the FBI and stuff like that, so that's the whole hook there. So I was telling him how I would do it, and he's like, "I'm on board with that. I think that would be awesome." So yeah, man, that was like my crowning moment right there. That was
That's
so
sick.
cool.
I'm glad you got to meet him, dude.
Hell yeah, man. He's very cool, and I can't. I'm gonna see what other convention he's gonna be at because I want to meet him again because I forgot my plaid shirt that I wanted him to sign, so I want to still get that
Oh
signed.
no.
Yeah, it's all good though. It happens. I still was able to get my picture signed, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Tatum saying we can't do it without Wes. I think we can. There's a lot of talented directors and writers out there. I just feel like with Radio Silence taking over Scream from a creative standpoint from the start of Scream 5, it's not to say those guys aren't talented and that they don't tell good stories. They tell good stories for their own style of horror/comedy.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't
Pers-
think I don't think the way they tell stories is fit for a Scream movie. That's just me.
yeah, that's a fair angle to look at it. I mean, personally, I loved Scream 6. I still love Scream 6.
I like Scream 6. I don't hate it. I feel like they did a lot of good things leading into the reveal, and then the reveal kind of took it down a lot.
It did.
But if there was one thing I wish they would have did a little bit better in 6 was take advantage of the New York setting a little bit more. Like I wish
Yeah.
they would have did a little bit more in regards to that subway scene. And I thought Gail was gonna, I thought she was gonna bite it in 6. And how I envisioned that happen was you showed her being killed on the big screen in Times Square. Poetic. It's poetic.
That would be.
They didn't do it, and it's just like that's another thing. This franchise is starting to kind of get away from. They're not taking risks anymore.
No, they're not. I mean, personally, I think Gail should have been gone in Scream 6. Not to veer too off from the comments, but
Right.
I mean, she was kind of a nothing burger in Scream 7.
Right.
I could get into a whole rant about that, but
Oh, feel free to. Don't worry. I'll let you go off for a second. Real quick, I do want to acknowledge this. Tatum G4X became a member. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it.
oh, shout out.
Welcome to the fam. That's awesome. Speaking of which, I got to get my members only list together because I do got some things that I have in mind.
Oh, that'll be exciting.
Oh, hell yeah. That's something that I want to start doing a lot more just because I want to start having a little bit more fun here on the channel. Not everything always has to be about a discussion. I want to add some different type of style of content. Just nothing too crazy or off the rocker or anything, but just kind of have a little bit more fun. Maybe do some more fun style streams, like some tier lists, some maybe some fucking game nights, extra game nights, because I know I'm gonna start a regular game night for the channel, and then I'm gonna do a members only game night, and then
Oh,
members
good.
only. for the members only, I'm gonna let the audience, the members, pick what type of game night we're gonna have.
Sick.
All right, I am gonna scroll up here in the comments because I know I'm like super behind. I do want to say what's up to Shannon. What's going on? Thank you for being here. I hope you're having a great night. Shannon saying love the opening kill of 7. Yeah, so let's start off there real quick. What did you think about the opening scene of Scream 7, Ryan?
The opening kill in Scream, or the opening kills in Scream 7, I think it was really good. The opening in this movie, honestly, I don't have any issues with it. I really don't. I think that the phone call that Madison got was good. I like the little humor with the Airbnb phone call with the trivia. He's like, I
Yeah.
don't get to stab you guys after all.
That
I
shit was
thought
funny.
I thought that was great. And the part that everybody, talks about the most, that last shot of Ghostface walking towards the camera. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that was such a good opening to a mediocre, Scream movie.
It's it's sad because the opening was really good. I enjoyed the opening for the most part. What takes it down for me is the fact that in regards to the killers we got, it was unnecessary.
Yeah.
And it's just like what was this done for? Like literally even Gail says it in a way. When the Mocker house gets burned down, a sea of reporters flooded to, get the story. But my spidey senses told me that Woodsboro was played out. So
Mm,
it's just like it means so basically it means nothing. If Gail's even saying, "Oh, well, I knew that was kind of just a diversion for something bigger to come,"
yeah. Yeah.
like it could have just been so much. It just could have been so much more if you would have had it be what it was supposed to be, which was, in my opinion, a revelation that Stu Macher is alive, and we're going to explain how this is, and either he's running a cult or he has a couple people that he manipulated to help him. You know,
Oh, ooh. You just yeah. That's another thing. Speaking of Scream 8, there's so much potential there. There's a whole other aspect that we did not get in
yeah,
7 that I think I'm still excited about that. I have hope for that. The Stu thing, we're mourning right now, but the
yeah.
whole cult, there's still a chance, bro. I'm hopeful for that.
I think there is two. I mean, the last two movies they revealed three. Well, if you think about Jason Carvey, 4 killers and 6. But the point is in the last two movies we've gotten 3 or more killers.
Yeah,
So it's like, I mean, if you're definitely hinting at the cult, then I mean, it has to be. They have to be making their arrival soon. Like, I
definitely.
feel like when you give us two movies that have more than 2 killers, more than a traditional 2 killers, you are leading in a trajectory where you're going to reveal more than 3 killers, more than 4 killers.
Mm,
So let's make it happen. Like, why not? Like, especially if you want to be fresh, that's your way to get fresh. Just having a cult of Ghostface, even Stu Macher's side, even though I would love for him to be the one running it, the cult of Ghostface alone, especially if, let's say, they don't do it with Stu Macher, they have it be somebody else, but this somebody else is actually a good cult leader, a killer that we can actually believe and sink our teeth into.
mm.
The cult of Ghostface angle and idea, it writes itself. That is fresh enough to get people's asses in the seats. I'm telling you, a lot of us are going to be a little skeptical going into Scream 8, no matter what we hear leading into the movie.
Yeah,
But
true.
I promise you this, if they drop a fucking trailer or a teaser that shows 6 or 7 motherfucking ghost faces standing in the middle of the street, I'm telling you, everybody's gonna be like, we're gonna fucking see this movie.
That would be sick. That would be really sick. I
It
mean,
writes itself.
think of how cool it would have been if when Tatum turned around, there was like 3 or 4 ghost faces there instead of just one.
It's so funny you brought that up. Don't mind my dogs; they're gonna bark a little bit. But it's so funny you brought that up because when I think about that moment when Jessica does show up or whatnot after she knocks Marco down, when I seen that, I'm like, man, like if you were going to reveal Colt, that would have been the perfect moment.
Yeah.
Like, bro, imagine Marco's on the ground and then she turns around and there's like five motherfuckers just lined up. Like,
Or
it's just
yes.
like, oh, man, that would have been such a cool moment. But I agree with you. It's not off the table.
Yeah. I think I'm excited for the possibility of that.
Me too. And we have a super chat in the house. Tatum coming in with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Saying, is Stu alive? I need your insight. You're amazing. I greatly appreciate that. I believe Stu is alive. Matthew Lillard still believes Stu Macher is alive. He said he's going to continue to say that Stu Macher is alive. He's still going to keep pushing the narrative. I think Scream 7 definitely still left the door open with certain things that they did and certain little clues, especially
Absolutely.
with that coroner's report.
Absolutely.
So, yes, I do still believe that Stu is alive, but especially with Kevin now most likely not going to be a part of Scream 8, it does kind of make you wonder and worry whoever's going to come in and direct now, are they going to be willing to capitalize on those
Mm.
Easter eggs? And I'll say this, if radio silence comes back, I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't, if radio silence comes back, I'd be excited, but not for the stew thing.
Right.
I think that they have potential to make great. I think that they have good flavors when it comes to like their takes on Scream. If that's a weird way to say it. I think their flair, their style, I think it works well for Scream. I think it does. If can they handle the stew story good? Mm, I don't know, but I think Stu. I don't know. I'm just so devastated. I'm still recovering. You're still recovering. We're all still
Yeah.
recovering.
I'll say this about radio silence. It's not like I didn't like their directing style per se. What I didn't like is how they openly talked about the plot holes and
Mm,
how certain things don't make sense. And they
yeah,
just dirt off the shoulder. I don't like
yeah,
that. I don't like that at all. I don't like questions going unanswered. I don't like
that's fair.
open-ended storytelling. I want a conclusion. If you're going to give me an Easter egg, then I want this to be followed up on and concluded, especially if it's an intriguing one.
Yeah,
And they did the same thing in Scream 5 and Scream 6. You realize we never got that. We never got it mentioned in Scream 7 about that Woodsboro number who called Gail.
yeah. Uh, I mean, the disrespect towards Scream 6 in general.
Yes.
Um, Ghostface attack doesn't count if you're not there. I mean,
Yep.
that Ghostface was pretty fucking badass. You know what I mean? Um, and like you said, first of all, okay, Mindy, Sam was your girl. Like that's your homie. For you to be like Billy Loomis's love child, I'm like, yo, we got beef the next time I see you, girl. Why you talking about me like that? Me personally, I mean, I get not directly name dropping them, but I think they could have been a bit more tactful with, the previous characters in the franchise that we still love, you know?
Well, I will say this, Ryan. I think that was the studio who forced him to do that. I
Yeah.
do. I do. The reason why I believe that is because Guy Busick himself has stated in the past he would love to revisit the core 4 storyline. Now, why would you write in your story purposely dialogue that kind of shits on those actresses who played those characters?
Yeah.
I would like to think you would want them to come back and hopefully make amends with the studio at some point. I think
Hmm.
the studio purposely had them write that shit in. I do. That
That's
sounds like
heavy.
That sounds like some fucked up studio shit that they would do, and they would have them say, oh, I wasn't fired, my contract wasn't renewed. Oh, like the fandom isn't going to know what the fuck you're talking
Yeah,
about, referring to.
that was a low blow.
Like they really, I feel like to some degree, especially with that ending dialogue from Marco, to some degree, I do think they might think we're a little stupid. I don't know why. I don't get it, but I do think they might kind of feel that way, because you're putting stuff in this movie, you're putting dialogue in this movie, and you're trying to pass it off as being funny.
Yeah.
But to people who know what you're talking about, it's like, that's kind of distasteful.
Right.
You know
No,
what I mean?
that's completely valid.
That's not funny at all, and like you said, Mindy, Billy Loomis had a secret love child, so who the fuck knows? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Chad, what about Tara? What
Yeah. He just sat there quiet. I'm like, homie.
like the whole screech, Tara, you're really special. Where does she go from being special to just not even existent?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, come on, man. Like, it's just certain writing choices like that, but I don't completely fault the writers. I think the studio, hey, so I want this piece of dialogue said by Gail. I think it'll be a nice little rib on Melissa. I can see that. I can fucking,
Yeah.
and they're gonna do what they're told.
Yeah. The studio has the power to do that. So
Right. So it's just it's sad. I hope whoever they get to do this movie next, I'm hoping they capitalize on the two Easter eggs, but I do think we have to be mindful that might not happen. But I do want to say, Tatum, thank you for your $2 super chat. I greatly appreciate you. J Rod saying, didn't they say that the Macher house Airbnb they were staying at was a built replica of the actual house? So not the real Macher house. See, you know what, J Rod? I'm glad you brought this up because I've been wanting to bring this up, but I felt like if I did bring this up, that a lot of people would think I'm a fucking idiot. But there is a moment where Scott says it's identical.
identical.
And I'm sitting there thinking, like, what does he mean it's identical? Well, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
That might actually be it. That might actually be it. Because see, here's another thing. When you look at how Scott and Madison arrive when they're driving up to Stu Macher's house,
Yeah.
that's not the same. To me, the way that they approach it is not the same as it was in the original.
Oh,
And
yeah. I see what you're
a
saying.
little more round.
I see what you're saying.
It
Like
looks
that
like,
long shot of them
yeah,
driving.
it looks like it's more of a maze that they're driving around as opposed to a straight shot.
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna go
hear it.
back and look at that. I'm gonna go back and look at that. J Rod, I'm telling you now, if I go back and stream 1996 and Stu's house is more of a straight shot compared to this, we're going to talk about this in a video because that was something that I did catch in regards to what Scott said about the identical part. And that has been chewing away at me for the last couple of weeks. I just didn't want to say nothing because I'm like, man, motherfuckers going to think I'm stupid. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then also, I mean, just by how some of the dialogue in here is written, they could also be looked at as, oh, that means nothing.
Yeah.
I'm an example. We literally hear Sydney say to Mark after the Carl attack, I want you to keep Ben away from here. There's somebody was in the attic. It could have been him. That makes no sense. You just found out who was in the fucking attic. It was Carl.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to have her say that. So, like, just throw away dialogue like that. If one were to say Scott saying the whole identical thing is just something that you just a throwaway line, I can see why some people would see that because they have throwaway lines in this movie.
Yeah, that's an interesting angle. I noticed that too, but I thought, no, there's no way that it could actually not be.
Right, because then also, unless, I mean, But then it would kind of be kind of shitting on Gail's intelligence as an investigative reporter. But even Gail says the Macher house.
Hmm.
So it's like,
Yeah. And then they
yeah.
called about it, but like we quickly like got cut off when Sydney was calling Mark, but his deputy or whatever was like, "Hey, we just got a call, whatever," and then it cut to whatever.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think that phone call was about the Stu Macher house burning down, or do you think it was about something else?
I think it was about the Mocker House. Um,
Okay.
in terms of the story in Scream 7 and what's going on when that scene takes place,
Right.
I think that's what it's about. But it could be about something else.
This is why I think it is about something else. The Woodsboro authorities would have no indication that these new murders that took place at the Macher house had a direct link to Sydney herself. There
Mm.
had to be a reason why they felt to need to inform Pine Grove and to tip Sydney off about something. Because we got to think, 4 years prior, there was a new murder spree in Woodsboro that wasn't directly tied to Sydney.
It's Sydney. Yeah.
So the cops, when they find these two bodies, they're not going to automatically assume, oh, we got to call Sydney. There's a new killer in town.
Yeah. Let's
You know,
call Pine Grove PD real quick.
yeah. So when his step
Mm.
does that and we get cut off, I'm just like, what was he about to say? That had to be something else because these motherfuckers are not going to know that the burning of this house is directly linked to Sydney at all. There had
Wow.
to be something else. Like, man, see, and this is what I'm saying. There's so many plot holes and there's so many open-ended questions. Like, oh, I hate when they do this to us.
Yeah.
It's so
That's a good catch, dude.
yeah, man. Like when I saw that again in the movie, I'm just like, wait a minute. I'm like, well, they wouldn't know if these two new murders at Stu's house and the burning of his house, they wouldn't know it had anything to do with Sydney unless they were tipped off. It has something to do with Sydney.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, they left that open ended. Like, why did there's two moments you realize, Ryan, in this movie, we get cut off in regards to a confirmation of Stu or something. The opening scene,
Yeah,
he
the
goes about to
podcast.
say his appearance at Windsor was confirmed. They cut it off.
Yeah,
Then the deputy goes to tell Mark something about Woodsboro. They cut it off.
we cut it off.
What are you hiding? I want to know.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what
a
I
good
mean? Like
question.
I can handle the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like I just want to know. Damn it! Like
Yeah.
so
No, you're valid. You're valid for sure.
I'm just hoping, man. Like I'm hoping the next one that they get a director that is okay with going down this avenue in regards to Stu Macher possibly being alive.
Yeah, man. And Sydney calls at all the wrong times in Scream 7, dude. Like if she never called Mark right there, who knows what we would have heard, the
Right.
deputy. And who know she also called Tatum in the damn.
Yeah. Yeah, she did. That was weird. Yeah, she did call it like the most inopportune times.
Yeah,
Like fuck, stop call. Yeah, yeah, because when she calls Tatum, the killer is about to walk away.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, Sydney. I did not like how they wrote her in this movie. I love Nev. She's still my favorite final girl, but
Hmm.
I do feel like this was like the worst version of Sydney that we've gotten so far in regards to dialogue, how she is now. I get it. She's not going to be the same character that she was in her 20s and her 30s, whatever. I get that. But again, going back to saying things like that don't make any sense, like with the whole Ben situation, we've never had those issues before where Sydney said things that didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And that's what bothers me is that in this movie, she said things that either didn't make sense or to me didn't fit her character. Like, the whole please. That's not Sydney. Like, come on, man. Like, I get it. You got to try to freshen things up with the character. but you can do that without messing up what's great about the character.
I agree. Yeah, she didn't make the smartest decisions in this movie.
Right.
Um, even for Sidney Prescott. I mean, you don't like. Why didn't you just break? Like, I'm sure she. Do you think Sidney Prescott knows how to hot wire a car? Probably, right?
I would assume so. I would assume so. I mean,
Or something. I don't know.
yeah. Or like, you know what I mean, she could have just went back inside the station, but also I guess she didn't want Gail to have to feel like she needed Gail to have her back again. I guess that's why they did that. But I mean,
Okay.
yeah, but again, I agree with you. Like, you couldn't have just bust the window out and hot wired the car. Like,
Yeah, if she was really on that type of timing, she would have. You know what
right?
I'm saying?
Yeah, just certain choices they made that just like makes you do one of these.
Yeah.
You know, Um, Tatum saying money is so tight, getting hurt at work isn't fun, but I love my hard channels. It means so much to me. I love being here so much. Rather be here than anywhere else. Honestly, I greatly appreciate that. That's what's up. I love when people say that can be like kind of a safe space for them to just come hang out and stuff like that and voice their opinions and just have a good conversation. I love that.
Hey, shout out to you, Tatum.
Hell yeah. I am going to scroll up here in the chat. I do want to say what's up to Jen. What's going on, Jen? I hope you're having a great night. Sorry if I'm missing some of you guys' comments, but I am a little bit behind. Oh, no, that's no good, Jen. I'm sorry about that. Yo, what's up? At Acres of Movies saying hello and thanks from Stacy. Will you see the new Mummy? Uh, Not the one that's if it's the one with Brendan Fraser, yeah. If it's not the one with Brendan Fraser, I think I know which one you're talking about, and I'll give it a watch. I'll give it a chance, but I don't know if I'm going to be interested in it.
Oh, the Lee Cronin
Yeah,
mummy.
yeah, yeah. I'm not too excited for that. I saw it, and I'm just like, I like my Brendan Fraser mummy movies with Rachel Weisz.
Yeah, those you cannot go wrong with those.
Hell no. It's a little bit. I mean, it ain't more. It's not like horror really, but it's more of adventure action. But I fuck with it, and it has its horror elements to it. Acre saying I like the theater kill. Yeah, I like the theater kill too. What about you, Ryan? You like the theater kill?
Okay. Now this is the thing. This is the thing with me in this movie.
Okay.
As a Scream fan, this movie is weak, but as a Ghostface fan, I thought he was badass in this movie. I did. When when he starts swinging her around like a rag doll, I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is Ghostface being Ghostface." And then he pops out and just stares at her before he starts walking down the stairs. I thought that was badass. And my favorite part of this whole scene, when Sydney shows up and she's like, "Tatum," and Ghostface does that quick turnaround and they make eye contact.
Yeah.
Marco Beltrami's score right in that moment, perfect. And of course, she has her scream aim and misses
Yeah,
every shot.
right. I said the same thing too. I'm like, all these years of firing a fucking gun and you can't shoot from distance yet.
Or her, Dewey, no one can shoot for shit in these
Nobody.
movies.
I will say this though, she was dead accurate with Marco.
Oh, that was a nice quick shot.
That was she killed that part. Um, no, I like the theater kill too. I do think they tapped a little bit into their Terrifier side with Ghostface with some of these kills, but but even though some of these kills do feel somewhat misplaced for what we're used to seeing Ghostface do, I'm also a firm believer that sometimes you got to be willing to do some of those different style of kills to keep the Ghostface aura and character of itself fresh.
Yeah.
Because we can't just always have stabby, 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 or slit throat or whatever, and
Hmm.
then throw off a roof, and then that's it.
Yeah. Stomach stab, stomach stab, stomach
Yeah,
stab.
they had some pretty unique kills that I did not foresee coming. The bar tap kill in particular, that
Oh
was
man.
fucking gnarly.
It was. I liked it.
that was really gnarly. But also Ben's kill was gnarly too. Yes, it was more of the traditional stabby, 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 stab, but
Hmm.
it tore his ass up.
Yeah, that shot of him laying there with the blood coming out of his mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, they tore his ass up. Like you said, from a Ghostface perspective, they did a really good job in this movie with making Ghostface look badass, try new things, be a little bit more brutal,
Yeah,
and stuff.
I
So,
love
and
them.
I'm not against that at all. Like, you're talking to a guy who loves Charlie Walker, who I think is probably the most vicious Ghostface,
Oh yeah,
guts all out on the bed, splatter all over the fucking room. So
yeah,
if we're getting ghost faces like that, I'm not going to complain. As long as you just keep it grounded. You keep Ghostface doing certain things that we're used to seeing him do, but then you also incorporate some new things. And I will say, I think that's what they did a better job at consistently in this movie doing compared to everything else. Like Ghostface, you've seen them do the traditional stabby stabby kill, but then you also seen them get a little creative and do some other different style of kills. And then also, when have we ever visibly seen Ghostface abduct someone?
yeah. Honestly, and hold them at like knife point. That was sick. That was
Yeah.
another one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Yes. Like they had moments. They had their moments. It's just the moments that they had didn't line up for the story and for the killers that they had in place.
Hmm.
That's what I feel about it. I feel like they could have benefited especially in regards to the motive. I just feel like, especially if you weren't going to reveal that Stu was alive, Gail should have been the one,
Yeah.
especially in regards to restarting the cycle with Tatum.
Hmm.
Especially the fact that Gail's career is fledgling and we know that she needs Ghostface to thrive. It would have, I know it would have been divisive, but that would have been a reveal that we'd be talking about forever.
Yeah. In a more positive light than the reveal that we got.
Yes, and I agree with that because this is the thing, and this is what this franchise needs to get back to doing, is not only giving us good Ghostface killers, but giving us shocking Ghostface killers.
Hmm.
Like that moment where Mrs. Loomis, you think it's Gail, and Sydney says Gail in Scream 2.
Yeah,
And
and she
then,
shakes her head.
and then Mrs. Loomis comes out, and you're like standing there like, oh, well, wait, it's just Debbie Salt chick. And then Sydney pulls her hair back, and it's like, Mrs.
Mrs.
Loomis? And it's
Loomis.
like, that's Billy's mom.
Yeah,
Oh shit! Or Roman when he reveals himself, it's like, wait, okay, so he obviously faked his death. Oh shit, that's her brother. Oh,
yeah,
okay. Like,
yeah. Exactly.
yeah,
I missed that.
yes, me too. That's why I love. This is why Scream became my second favorite franchise behind Halloween because of the shock value.
Hmm.
Not knowing who you might have an idea who the killer is, but then be completely surprised of who the killer
Man.
is. Like we need that element of surprise back in this franchise so
Yes, I
badly.
agree, bro. I still remember I was in middle school when Scream 4 came out. I still remember seeing Jill take that mask off for the first time. And I was like, you gotta be shitting me.
Bro, I remember being in the theater with my cousin and the father of her kids at this time watching Scream 4. They went with me. And I remember when both Charlie and Jill revealed themselves. When we seen Charlie stab Kirby, we was like, oh shit. Oh, all right. So this time the nerd's gonna be the killer. All right, I like it.
Yeah.
And then when we get to Jill, all three of us just kind of like looked at each other like, what the fuck? And then when she starts doing what she was doing to herself, we was just like literally like just in shock. Like it was
It's
just
crazy.
yo, like this broad is out of her fucking mind, but she's killing it right now. Like
Yeah.
her motive was great, and her
Oh, it's so
actions for
good.
that motive was great. Like we just need that shock element back. There's Scream 5 didn't have a shock element. We were able to predict who the killers were. Scream 6 did it. Scream 7 has now done it. They need to get back to not only taking risks with these returning characters, but they need to get back to taking risk in regards to revealing who the fucking killers are.
Yes, and we need memorable, quotable lines when they take the mask off. Like
Yes.
when Charlie, he said something like 4 years of classes together, and you noticing
Yeah.
it now?
You stupid bitch. It's too late
It's
now.
too late.
Yo, I fucking love it. Like, but see, also too, like leading into that, he had some great dialogue. Before
Yeah.
they revealed him as Ghostface, like when Kirby and him are doing the trivia, and my boy's like, "You feel that charge that went between us?" Like it's just that little bit of charisma. Just that
Yes.
bit of charisma. We need killers like that again back in this franchise because what
Absolutely.
we have gotten some over the top. I feel like a lot of these killers that they're trying to do is kind of be like Stu a little bit,
Yeah.
but you can't do Stu Macher because that's Stu Macher.
Yeah, everyone's crazy and all goofy. I want someone to be like angry and like irate when they take the
Yes,
mask off.
yes. Or if you're gonna have them be crazy, at least have them be a grounded crazy like Mickey. Like Mickey
Yeah.
was a cool crazy. He was a little over the top, but it was still somewhat grounded. You
Hmm.
know, it wasn't this whole, I start planning and doing Pilates and it's that for me, that will go down as the most unmemorable line in this franchise. I hate it. I do. I don't hate a lot
Yeah.
of things. I hate that line of dialogue because it's just like, why are you saying that?
Yeah.
That makes me look at you like, oh, so you had to do Pilates in order for you to feel you could whoop Sydney's ass. like that's how I look at it. So it's just crazy. We have another $2 super chat in the house. Thank you, Tatum. Asking, do you think this was a fan film? Stu is alive. That's interesting because I've heard some people draw the comparison
Oh
of
boy.
Scream 7 to a fan film.
Oh
What do you
gosh.
think about that, Ryan? I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I see that. A lot of people say it looked just like a stab movie.
Mhm.
I can see that. It felt like it kind of felt like a TV movie type of
Okay.
like cheesy vibe. Like I think that would have been a really crazy way to end this movie. If it was a fan film, but that's an interesting question. I haven't really given it too much thought. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Now it's so funny that she says this because when you think about it, it really was a fan film. It was an obsessed fan who was the leader of the murders.
Mm,
So in a way, it kind of was a fan film. Now, in regards to it being like a legitimate fan film, like what we see here on YouTube and stuff like that, I don't think the cinematography looked like that per se. I do think you can make the argument that Kevin went with a little bit of a darker lens. I do feel like things were a little bit darker compared to what we've seen before in other movies, to where
yeah,
it may have been a little bit more bright. Um, but in regards to it looking like a fan film, I don't think so much. I would have to say no. It still looks like a high quality studio, Hollywood made movie, just with a little bit of a darker lens. And I will also say the reason why I don't feel this way about it looking like a fan film, some of those use of silhouettes in this movie was fantastic.
yeah.
Like the
You're right
shots
about
on the
that.
wall of Ghostface getting up, chasing Tatum, the shot specifically when they're creeping up on her and she's on the sidewalk, and then she
Oh
turns
yeah.
around, she sees them, and then also, of course, in the opening scene when Scott does the Michael Myers,
Hmm.
that's great cinematography right there.
That's
Like
yeah,
if that was a fan film, it would look like a fan film, in my opinion. Like you can tell what is a fan film and what's a high grade quality filming. But that's the thing though, too. Sometimes you really can't because sometimes these fan film creators, some of the equipment they have is so top notch, it looks like it's an actual studio Hollywood made movie.
yeah.
So
Oh,
I
crap.
think in regards to it being a fan film, I personally don't feel that way, but I can see where some might kind of feel that way, but I don't.
Okay.
All right, so I do want to get to some of these other starred comments that I had from earlier and get your thoughts on these as well. Um, so let's start off with this one here from earlier with Josh. Josh said Anna Camp tells the Hollywood Reporter she knows there's a hashtag Scream 8 in the works and would love to come back as a twin of Jessica's from the hashtag Scream 7. What are your thoughts
Hmm.
on that, Ryan?
I think and correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Rose McGowan say something like she wanted to come back, like if Tatum had like an evil twin sister or something, she would have wanted to come back or something
Something
like
like
that.
that, I think. Yeah.
I think that this um I certainly hope that if that was the case, I hope that her twin was more interesting than she was. Um,
Right. I
or
agree.
maybe we could have maybe she can expand a little bit more on Jessica and her backstory a little bit. Um, who knows? I personally, if I was in charge, I'd like to erase Jessica as much as possible. And this is no fault to Anna Camp because I
Right.
know what she went through with this role
Yeah.
recently. When she did that interview and she spoke about how much she had to kind of create for Jessica, which kind of
Right.
breaks my heart, you know. But yeah, I would say no to this idea. Not that it's a bad idea, but personally, just to wash the bad Scream 7 taste out of my mouth, I
Right.
would move on.
Yeah. I mean, again, and nothing against Anna Camp because I saw that interview too. When I heard that, my mind was blown. I'm like, wow. So they didn't even have a direction of where they wanted to go with her character.
Yeah.
It just left it up to her. And it's like, really? Like, so for me, I'd have to pass on the evil twin Jessica. Um, it wasn't even just a Pilates comment. There was other things that didn't make sense to me. Like she says she killed her son because he was way too much like his father. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that his dad wasn't abusive. I mean, according to her, he was. But if you're saying that Lucas was like his father, well, from what I'm seeing from Lucas, he doesn't look like he could hurt a fly.
You was a nice kid, bro.
That's what I'm saying. He was a cool kid. Like he was a good dude. Like a little a little fascinated with true crime, but I love true crime too. So I'm right there on the same wavelength with him. Like I didn't like the whole, oh, well, no, he was too much like his father, so he's gone. Well,
Yeah. I
Lucas
don't
is actually a decent kid. So are you telling us that his dad wasn't that bad? And that maybe you're just a fucking crazy chick who made up an excuse to kill him?
right.
Like I'm confused as to what your actual backstory with his father is when you make a comment like that and stuff.
Right.
And then, you know, like, okay, so what was the whole point? All right, you and Marco go back and forth in regards to who brought Stu back, whose decision it was to incorporate Stu. But you didn't give us a reason as to why.
Yeah.
You could have made Sydney face her past and play into this whole, oh, you're not supposed to have a happy ending deal by just donning the Ghostface costume and coming after her.
Yeah.
You didn't need to incorporate AI Stu. You didn't need to incorporate AI Dewey. You didn't need AI Roman. You didn't need AI Mrs. Loomis. And nothing against Lori Metcalf. I was shocked and happy to see her.
Yeah, same. I was happy to see all of them. I wish they didn't look the way they do today.
Right. But it would have made way more sense if that was AI Tatum in her spot.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Because you done built this whole movie around explaining why Sydney chose to name her own daughter after this girl.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? I would put it this way: the reveal still would have sucked to me, but if you would have had AI Tatum show up and taunt Sydney before we get the reveal, the final act elevates for me a little bit
Mm-hmm.
because it
Yeah,
means so much to the general story that you're trying to tell between Sydney and her daughter.
that would have been perfect, honestly. And I also
Right.
think it would have been a nice touch if the AI killers they had like their death outfits on, like
Yes.
the outfits that they were wearing when we last saw them on screen. If
Yeah.
if if Roman had like a tattered robe with bullet holes
Oh
and
man, that would have been sick.
like a bloody gunshot wound, that would have been, it would have made more sense that way.
Right. Yeah. Like Stu maybe would have been in the clothes that he was in the night that the TV fell on his head. Mrs.
Hmm.
Loomis with the bloodstains on her jacket and stuff.
Yeah,
Dewey wearing what he was wearing the day at the hospital scene. Yeah, that would have been way better. And that's another thing. Dude, like, I don't know if you caught this, but the disrespect with Dewey. Like, so you mean to tell me Sydney says during the interview to Gail, she says during this interview about Tatum that was a dear friend that she loved, and that was that was the last friend that she ever trusted. Well,
yeah,
damn. Well, I
I
mean, I
noticed
can
that.
see why Gail gave her the look she gave her, but how the fuck do you think Dewey feels?
Hmm. That's
Like,
really messed up.
it's like, come on. And then when you do use him, you use him obviously against her, but the dialogue doesn't make sense. I died for you, Sydney. Doesn't that mean anything to you? You didn't die for Sydney. You died for Samantha
Yeah,
Carpenter.
yeah, that didn't make sense at all.
It's
And
like,
Dewey looked like he just got out of bed.
yeah, my boy looked like he was about to hit up a rave or something. They had my
Yeah,
boy all dark and goth looking. I fuck with it though. I was just happy to see David back, but I just wish they would have made it. They should have made it mean more. You know what I'm saying? Like
I know exactly what you mean, bro.
it
Yeah.
should have made way more sense. Like, and what about those fucking flashbacks we were supposed to get?
Yep. That too would have been great.
That would have been better than the AI stuff. Like, oh man, missed opportunities. That's what I summed Scream 7 up to at this point. One giant missed opportunity from
Yeah.
multiple angles. From multiple
Yeah.
angles.
Lost potential for sure.
Absolutely. All right, so I am going to scroll down here. Oh, we have another $2 super chat in the house coming from Carrie Cray Cinema. Thank you, Carrie. Greatly appreciate you. Saying Jessica used Sydney to justify killing her husband. I agree with that. What do you think about that, Ryan? What do you think about Carrie's comment saying that Jessica used Sydney to justify killing her husband?
Yeah, I think Jessica took all the wrong messages from Sydney's book and Sydney's story. Um and I think she's also a little bit hypocritical, because she killed her husband, her abusive husband.
Yes.
And then she tells Sydney, "Oh, you were talking about life after trauma, but trauma is your life. So you did what you had to do to eliminate the trauma from your life, killing your abusive
Yep.
ex-husband. Um, and now you're dedicating that to me and what I said, but you're also telling me that I'm not allowed to move past the trauma and stuff that I've been through. And you're mad at me because I missed one scream."
Yeah, that's what it boils down to. And they could have made that mode of work so much better for Gail and Sydney in regards to in the aftermath of Scream 6. Maybe as we've seen a little bit in 7, Gail isn't the same Gail anymore. She's taking medication. Maybe she's
Mhm.
spiraling. Maybe the loss of Dewey has finally caught up to her. And now she lost her job. All these things are happening, and she finally mentally breaks.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been a way better avenue to go in because then what you do is you play into what Scream 6 built in regards to what Quinn said about what if one of you, previous survivors, finally snapped and your trauma got the better of you.
Mm.
That-
That would
This,
have been interesting.
this motive would have been so much better for Gail. And it
Yeah.
would have made way more sense because we have 6 movies worth of 6 movies up until that point. 6 movies worth of groundwork to play into that. With one of them being Gail, could have looked at it like, I always had your back, and the one time I needed you to save me, you did.
Well,
Like,
that would have been perfect.
oh,
No.
like I'm telling you, like they had it. They with Jessica's motive, they had it. I feel like the motive isn't as bad now that I've processed it. You just had it for the wrong person. That should have been Gail. And the fucking reveal. Can you imagine if Gail is revealed and that's the fucking motive? Bro,
Oh
like
man,
those are the
that would
two
have been
motives.
sick.
Those are the two motives. You basically turned your back on me. I'm spiraling. The only way that I can be subsequently whole is if I restart this cycle.
Ooh.
I'm going to kill you. And now your daughter is going to be the one to carry this mantle. Now, I personally would have did it in a way where how Saul, what was it? Saul 3, when they abducted the daughter in that movie, I
Okay.
would have kept it to the point where Tatum was hidden to where she doesn't see what happens to Sydney. Because then it makes a little bit more sense in regards to how Gail thinks she's going to get away with it.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
like that.
but this is the thing though, in regards to those who say, oh, well, that wouldn't make sense because Gail's not going to get away with it. That's the thing. When you mentally are psychotic or you mentally break, you don't think rationally. You don't think logically. So anything that you think of, you think is possible. It's just like Mickey. His motive, he was going to blame the movies. Even Mrs. Loomis said, "You ain't. Who would have bought that for 1 second?" Poor boy was completely out of his mind. But
There's not gonna be a trial.
that's the thing. He's so mentally unstable that he believes something that's impossible is possible, and that's what makes these killers scary. That's what's supposed to make these killers scary, you know,
Oh
and stuff
man.
like that. So it's just like, man, they had it. They just used it on the wrong character. Gail should have been the one to be revealed as the killer, not
Gail. Oh, that would have broke my heart,
bro.
bro.
That's what I'm saying. Now, see, and I'm glad you said that because we need moments like that again in this franchise. We need our hearts broken. We need our guts ripped out. We need everything, bro. Like just to make us feel again. These movies don't make us feel the way we used to feel. Why? Because they stopped taking risks.
Oh, I have goosebumps, bro.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, man. Like, imagine what that would have done. Like, a lot of people would still be upset. A lot of people would still be upset that Stu didn't get revealed alive. But you cannot tell me that people would not still be like, holy fucking shit. It was Gail and they made it work.
Oh my god, bro. Wow. And they could have tied it in like she ran over Carl because maybe he got a little too close to getting the job done or something, you know?
I mean,
They
or
could have
they could
played,
have just completely restructured that. They
yeah.
could have completely restructured how that played out and everything and stuff. Like they could have completely restructured that. Like, or
Oh
could
man.
have even had it to where, and some people might find this unpopular, but if you were going to completely bury the Carpenter sister narrative, you could have had Gail and the twins be the killers. They gave into their trauma too. All them fucking
Oh
times they were
man.
stabbed, they gave in too.
Oh, that could have been great.
And then if you really wanted to bury the Carpenter sisters, oh, well, what happened to them? Oh, yeah, we killed them. A lot of
Man.
people would hate that because it'd be off screen.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, true.
if you're gonna bury these characters, I'd rather you bury these characters in that type of way to where we get a conclusion.
Yeah. Oh man, that was really good, dude.
Like, bro, I'm just telling you. When I went back and rewatched this movie, like multiple, there was like a day where I had a day off and I wanted to do content, but I'm like, you know what? No, I'm going to watch Scream 7 like 3 times in a row, and I'm just gonna take notes, take notes, take notes, take notes. And that's
Yeah.
what I did. And I just looked at that motive and I just put my head down. I said, that should have been Gale. We had it. That would have been a great reveal. Shocking. We'd be getting
Yeah.
back to our roots with that type of reveal.
Oh man. And if that somehow would have been like, man, if they would have somehow managed to keep that from getting leaked, theaters audiences would have went fucking crazy. Are you kidding me,
Oh
Gail?
my God.
No.
I'm telling you, Ryan, if that would have happened, I'm usually not this type of person. I'm not, or whatever. But this one time, I would fucking do it in the theater. I fucking told you so. I told you it was her. I would have did it. I would have did it, man. I would have took.
Oh
I would have took my fucking props right then and there. I would have took it. Like it would have been
man.
crazy. And instead, you gave us these killers. Now I'll say this out of the three, I like Carl the most because I know a lot of people don't like this, but that was the first killer in the franchise we didn't hear anything from him. From he was like the Michael
Right.
Myers.
Yeah. The dude was already like a psycho.
Yes.
He was already a murderer.
Yep.
So
And he
like
didn't need to talk. He didn't need to say anything. He didn't need to do anything. He was just all business.
yeah. Probably didn't take much convincing. You probably just heard the idea and was like, I'm game.
Yeah. That attack scene at Sydney's house, that's one of the best moments in the entire movie.
Yeah, and I think even though this was in real life, the stuntman, I think Carl had like a little bit of charisma in his
Oh
like
yeah.
ghost face. The way that when Sydney's pleading, like, please just leave her alone, and he shakes his head, he's like, no.
Knife, saying no with the knife and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I loved those aspects and stuff. Like Carl, I wish we got a little bit more of him, but I thought he was pretty solid. And I'll also say this: now that I've rewatched it a few times, I do not like Marco. I just wish we would have got more of him.
Hmm.
I actually thought Ethan Embry didn't do too bad. Like he kind of got that creepster look,
Oh, for
during
sure.
some of this movie. And I do like how he's like, yeah, me. I'm just like, yo, bro. And he did have a moment where he made me laugh again. That's one tough motherfucker. like and to me, he was more of the intriguing one that I wanted to know about as opposed to Jess. Like, there's even a moment when she's like, excuse me, I'm talking, don't interrupt me. And he's just like, yeah, like, can I get a moment? Like,
I wish you would have spoke up like, no, bitch, I'm talking now.
oh,
Something-
in that moment, I wanted him to just pull out a gun and just shoot her in the head.
yeah.
And then just be like, okay, so now this is my show and I'm running it.
Yeah, he's like, I just used you to get here or something,
Right. If you think about it, it would have been a nice twist on the narrative of Jill and Charlie. Because in so many ways, Jessica is kind of like Jill because she's in control.
Yeah.
You have fucking Marco kill her in that instance. That's kind of like a reversal of that Charlie Jill situation. Now
Yeah.
he's taking control of the situation, and he's the one because he's the one with the computers, the technology, all that shit, the AI stuff, former Google security agent or whatever he was. Like,
Hmm.
I wish we would have gotten to know more about his character because I feel like he's more of an intriguing character. I want to know why, even if he didn't have a real motive as to why he was doing what he was doing. Well, why did you decide to bring back Stu?
Yeah. And why Roman? Why Mrs. Loomis? Why not? Obviously, they didn't get the actor back, but why not Mickey? Why leave out certain? Like, why
Right.
did he? Like, why?
They had an opportunity, even with AI, to just do something crazy, like a crazy dream sequence for Sydney, where you have
Hmm.
every past killer show up.
Oh,
Because that was the thing, bro. Jack Quaid, when he was doing his Novocaine premiere, they asked him about returning for Scream 7, and he was playing coy in regards to what he could say. So I assumed, I'm like, oh shit, if he's going to be in it, then that means almost every Ghostface in some shape, way, or form is going to make an appearance,
yeah.
or whatever, and stuff. And they didn't do it.
Oh man.
Opportunities. All right, so I am going to move on to this next starred comment that I have. Um, Spicy Oreo saying, I am in no way a Jessica hater. I like her more than Wayne, Ethan, and Richie. And I liked her acting more than a lot of the other killers. The reveals were weak, though I don't fully care about reveals, though. What do you feel about that, Ryan? What do you feel about Spicy Oreo's comment? Like, would you rank Jessica higher than Wayne, Ethan, and Richie?
I rank Jessica. Okay, so Richie for me is definitely number one out of the four of them.
I can agree with that.
Um, and then I'll probably go Wayne, Jessica, then Ethan. I think I don't think Anna Camp did bad. I thought her acting was good for what she said, but I just wish she said more than what she said.
Right,
Um, and I wish the things she said made more sense.
right.
But I mean, Ethan is kind of. I think this is like a general consensus. Not many people are fans of Ethan as a
Right.
ghost face, and I think it's fair to be honest.
Yeah. No, it definitely is. I like that list. I think that's a fair list. Having Richie first, Wayne second, Jessica third, and then obviously Ethan last. Because see, that's the thing. For me, is I didn't mind Anna Camp's performance so much once I rewatched it. I look at it as half a cup half full, or however you say that phrase or whatever. She basically there was moments where she had moments where I'm like, okay, I can get into this, but then there's the moments where she takes me out of it.
Yeah,
The way she acts and the way she speaks, like I wish she was a little bit more intimidating. For example, when she gets behind Tatum and she looks at Sydney and she's like, do you think you've been a good mother to Tatum? Didn't really teach her anything useful. I liked that because that was a little bit sinister and sadistic.
yeah, and true to be honest.
But then you have moments where she's stepping over Mark. She's like, "Excuse me," and it's just like, okay, you didn't need to say that. Like, just step over him.
Yeah, she goes, "Hey neighbor, how you holding up?"
Yeah, yes. And it was very much like Quinn in Scream 6. Hey, Roomy. Like
Yeah, yeah,
so it's just I wish they would have made her. If you wasn't gonna give her a script, at least say be more menacing and be more grounded and more serious instead of over the top and loony because we just saw that with Wayne Bailey.
yeah. We did.
So I feel like her character could have benefited way more. I would have liked her reveal way more if she was actually sinister, more sinister with it. Like when Sydney's like, Jessica, what are you doing? And she's like, Jessica, what are you doing? I didn't mind that. I did not mind that because I'm like, okay, like that's her taunting her. That's her kind of being, like a sour, ignorant bitch. I like this, you
Yeah.
know. But then we get to the part with I started planning and doing Pilates, and then I pulled a city and I killed my husband. It's just like, first off, Billy was never her fucking husband. Like, she never killed her husband. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? Like, it's just I don't know what happened in regards to certain direction tips, but she could have definitely benefited one from a script. Kudos to her for coming up with what she came up with
Yeah.
because for the character being an obsessed fan and being upset that Sydney helped her through all this trauma, but then basically she didn't show up to New York's killing spree, so now she's mad. That's a little hokey to me, but the overall premise of the motive isn't that bad, especially for somebody who wasn't directed to think of that motive. They thought of it themselves. So kudos to Anna Camp for trying to turn, grapes into wine, but it
Yeah.
just
I mean, she
wasn't.
really campaigned. I mean, apparently, according to her, that whole scene with Lucas and her and Gail in front of Sid's house,
Yes,
apparently that wasn't even gonna be a thing. So
I
we would have
know.
got even less of Jessica than what we got. Can you believe that?
I can't because that's the thing. Most of these movies, even Scream 5 and Scream 6 did it. You got to know the killers before they were revealed as killers.
Yeah.
This movie completely, and I get it. You wanted to be a little bit fresh, and you wanted to be different. But this movie, and it turned out to be a detriment to the movie. You barely had these killers present in the movie, and it was obvious that they were the killers because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, even if I
Yeah.
didn't like the reveal still, I would have still preferred you gave us more of these characters.
Mm-hmm. We need our character list. We need everyone accounted for more often.
Agreed.
Jessica, if we never got that scene in front of Sid's house, we would have just had what the coffee shop
Coffee
scene
shop.
in the beginning, and that's it.
The coffee shop scene. Even though, like, they eat, and I hate when they do this. They need to stop this too. In the dialogue, they make it so obvious who's going to be the killer. Like when she says to Sydney, "Oh, you can't protect your kids all the time. You got to let them fend for themselves." It's like, yeah, spoken by a true killer. Because you
Ridiculous.
have plans to make her try to defend herself. So it's
Yeah.
just like, just please stop doing this. Like, I can't recall in the older movies them doing dialogue like that to where it's like, oh yeah, I can definitely tell that person's going to be the killer. Like they've
No,
been doing this the last couple of movies, especially with 6 and now 7.
I mean, yeah, and Bailey in Scream 6, I mean, it was terrible. He was like, what did he say to Sam? He was like, nobody fucks with my family or something like that.
Yeah,
It
you fuck
was
with
like,
my family, you
uh,
die.
yeah. It was crazy. I remember people in my theater like actually like giggling out loud when he said
Yeah.
that.
Oh, bro, I'll be honest. I remember being in the theater watching it, and when he starts walking up and he's wiping his eyes, I'm just like, this motherfucker. I'm like, this is like the worst fake cry I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like, both my kids are gone. I'm just like, yeah, bro, you're gonna be the killer at the end. I can
Yeah.
already see it. Especially when he did say the iconic, "You fuck with my family, you die." I will say
Crazy.
this though about Dermot. Compared to Jessica, I enjoy his over the top goofiness more because he actually made me fucking laugh.
Yeah.
It is funny. You cannot help but laugh. You can't. Like especially at the end when he's all like, "When I saw what you did to him, you just had to be fucking punished. You had to die." I'm just like, "Oh man, let's
He's
go."
he's
He's
like,
snapped.
yeah, of course it was me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course it's me. Yeah, man. Like he's funny as shit. I will give him that. Even though I didn't care too much for his reveal neither, because of how over the top it was, he at least made me laugh.
Hmm.
All right,
Agreed.
and I already talked about that. What Carrie said. Yeah, we already talked about this about her getting Anna Camp getting free reign to improvise the third act. She wanted more screen time. She only got Gail. Or yeah, yeah. She basically didn't have shit. Like they barely did anything with her character, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I said what I said earlier about maybe going in a different direction with writer
Hmm.
when you have one of your killers, but just a character in general who is supposed to be revealed as a killer, so they're kind of a big deal. And they're telling us the writer of the movie didn't have a script or had really any direction for them. That that's
Ridiculous.
that speaks volumes. Like that speaks volumes, and that needs to be atoned for. Like they need to fix that.
I agree.
All right, so I am going to scroll up here in the comments, guys, because I know I'm like super behind. And I will say we're going to go like another 15 minutes and then we're going to close up shop for the night. But I will be back on tomorrow afternoon.
All right, sounds good.
Hell yeah. All right, let's start here. Tatum saying, carry the story about Dewey. I mean, do others. Oh, okay. No, I mean, it still hurts. Oh, okay. You guys talking amongst yourself. Gotcha. Carrie saying, I think Jessica made up a whole narrative about Sydney in the book to justify killing her husband and her son. She wanted free from responsibility. I've seen it so many times in real life. Ooh,
Mm,
that's an interesting take that I haven't heard before. What do you think about that, Ryan?
I share the same sentiment. Honestly, I never thought of it that way. Um,
Ooh.
wow, they could have leaned into that. Honestly,
They did a little bit with her saying, I'm releasing all the baggage.
true.
Oh man, that's crazy. Like, no, I can see that though. You know what I mean? In regards to like, she definitely did use the book and Sydney to justify killing her husband and Lucas. But that free from responsibility part, that's what got me. I never looked at it that way, but I think you're on to something with that, Carrie. I think you are. That makes sense. And yes, we've have seen that plenty of times in real life. So it's relatable.
Yeah, true.
Man, that's crazy. Good shit, Carrie. Tatum saying my heart still hurts for my favorite person, my Dewey. Yeah, it's a
Mhm.
shame how they did him. Um, especially in Scream 5, not just like obviously the character, but how they did David in general. Like even David in Tampa was kind of like poking at that, like talking about that a little bit. Like he doesn't have too many nice things to say about I don't even know, I don't want to be inaccurate, but I want to say radio silence. He doesn't have too much to say about that. Like positive.
Oh,
It wasn't a positive experience for him.
oh, geez. I know he briefly mentioned in the lead up to Scream 7, a fan asked him, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm in it, but it's like a blink and you'll miss it type thing," and he was not wrong.
Yeah. And that's the crazy thing is too, because I expected us to get a little bit more AI Dewey, or I expected if we were going to see AI Dewey, we would still get like a separate phone call where we hear his voice.
Hmm.
And instead we just got that. And I'm just like, man, it's especially that's how you pay tribute to that character.
Yeah,
I didn't like that too much, and I didn't like how they basically shitted on him by making it seem like, Sydney didn't trust him and like he didn't matter.
yeah, yeah. That's definitely the whole way they treated Dewey in this franchise. It's just, ugh.
Yeah, it's a shame how they treated him. Like I don't get what the issue is. Like I don't know what the problem is, but ever since he came back, for Scream 5, he basically said like the experience wasn't great. And then when you think about how he was used in 7, it kind of just feels like, oh yeah, you want to talk shit on us? Okay, we'll bring you back, but we're going to bring you back in a way that's not going to be too serviceable for your character or your character's legacy. If anything, it doesn't hurt Dewey's legacy, but it doesn't add anything to it neither.
Yeah,
Like, if anything, okay, I will say this: it does hurt it a little bit because you're having Sydney kind of treat him as an afterthought.
hmm,
And it's like, why would she treat Dewey like as an afterthought? Like when I heard that interview and that dialogue from Sydney and she said what she said, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, hold up. So you mean to
yeah.
tell me through all these sequels, she not once trusted Dewey?
And then she tells Gail at the very end that she trusts her too.
Yeah, like the most untrustworthy of the pair. Like, it's
Right.
just like, come on, like what this movie was, and I don't know if you agree with this. What this movie was, with this motive, was them doubling down on the idea that no Scream movie can be made without Nev Campbell present in some shape, way, or form. No Scream movie, no Ghostface attack can happen unless Sidney Prescott is going to be involved in some shape, way, or form, even if the damn story doesn't have anything to do with her.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't like that.
I don't
Honestly.
either. I do not neither. I think you are hindering the franchise by doing that because you're going with a Jamie Lee / Halloween approach with that. And we've
Yeah.
seen how that ended with Halloween Ends. Didn't end too great.
Oh boy,
Did not
Halloween
end too
ends.
great. Because when you give the top star creative decisioning and creative control sometimes they're going to basically favor themselves to win every time.
Yep.
And it's just like, okay, so then what is the point of even doing this?
And not to get too off topic, but I heard rumors that Jamie Lee Curtis said that she wasn't 100% done with the Halloween franchise, and I was like,
Yeah. Well, she teased that you never know. You know,
yeah.
and it's just like I'll say this: if she's going to come back and pass the torch to Danielle Harris, by all means.
Oh yes, please.
But if you're going to come back and try to do some more Laurie Strode stories, I'll pass. I'm
We
good on that.
definitely we still need reparations for Jamie Lloyd.
Absolutely. But I feel like in a way Scream is kind of heading in that direction because of what they did with this movie. They doubled down on the idea that yeah, you can't do a Scream movie unless Sydney is going to be a part of it.
Yeah,
And it's like, no, we don't need her to be a part of it. Scream 5 and 6, much to the dismay of a lot of people, myself included, both of those movies, especially 6, from a financial standpoint and from a fan interest standpoint, proved you do not need Sidney Prescott present to have a Scream movie be effective in some ways.
agreed, 100%.
You don't. This is what I loved about Scream the TV series. It had, it had balls. They went outside the box. They were willing to go away from their main character. Even if I disagree with the way they left season 2, basically certain questions unanswered. By the time we get to third season, we're following a whole new cast. We're following a whole new group of people. They took the swing, even though it was unpopular, of going with a different direction and a different take.
Man, you're really hyping me up for this, man.
I'll say this, man. Like I told you, the first 2 seasons of the TV series are excellent. Lakewood story is great. The third season, it's grown on me over the years. It's not as good as the first 2, but it's not as bad as I initially thought. I just
Okay.
I just wish they would have finished the Lakewood story that was set in season 1 and 2 before they decided to venture off and do something else. But that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, the TV series, man. What I love about it, bro, is it felt that, especially the first 2 seasons, especially the first season, it felt like the original Scream movie in regards to the twists and turns and the surprises.
Oh yeah, that sounds like it's for me.
Like,
That sounds like it's my kind of show.
bro, I'm telling you, you're going to love that first season of Scream the TV series, especially because of all the twists and turns. And unlike what we thought this movie was going to do, they didn't end in a cliffhanger. The first season ends on a cliffhanger. And so does the second season. That's all I'll give you.
Oh, let's go.
That's what I'm saying. Like the TV show, and mind you, again, Wes Craven gave his blessing for that TV show. He has a executive producer credit on the first season, and I want to say the second season, but I could be wrong. But he has a producer credit on it. Bro,
Oh
the way
man,
they did those TV series, those first 2 seasons, it reminded you so much of the movies because they took chances.
sick.
These movies need to get back to taking chances.
I
Like,
like the mask too from the TV series.
yeah, it's unique. It still has that feel of a ghost face mask, but it's its own version of a ghost face mask.
Yeah, I've learned to love the look of it over the years. I wasn't a fan when I first saw it back in the day, but it's
Yeah, the
a
Brandon James mask is pretty cool. I like it.
for sure.
Chartison 6026. Thank you for being here. Hope you're having a great night. We are going to wrap it up here in a few minutes, but I am going to read this comment saying all they needed to do to make the movie goated was put the beginning scene at the end and have Ghostface walk out of the house and then unmask it is Stu. Ryan, what do
Ooh,
you
I
think about
like
this?
that.
I want to know what you think about that.
I like that a lot, actually. Hold on.
Yeah,
Chart is in. You made me on to something. Even if he didn't take the mask off, if he kind of just walked off and the movie ended, that would have been sick. But if he took the mask off and it was Stu, and then the movie ended, oh, oh man, that would have been nice because a lot of people were thinking like, oh, the opening kill might not be the opening; it may be, towards
Me?
the middle or the end. Yeah, or the end. Exactly.
Yeah, I definitely thought with all the talk and the rumors of a cliffhanger, I thought that opening scene was going to end up being the end. And I thought we were going to get something similar to what Chartison is talking here. But that's not what we got. But I agree with this comment that they should have went with that original cliffhanger idea and had the house burned down at the end and maybe Stu be revealed, or they just go with the traditional cutting of the scene like they did for the opening, whatever.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I do think, as good as it was for the opening, because it didn't really matter by the time we get to the killers and the motives and the reveal and all that stuff, this would
Mhm.
have served better at the end as a cliffhanger.
I agree 110. I know I've been saying that a lot, but it's true.
Yeah, you're good.
It's true.
Like, I think this definitely would have been better suited at the end of the movie, because then, especially if you keep all those Stu Macher Easter eggs, if you keep all those little breadcrumbs, like in regards to him, the coroner report going missing. We don't know if he's really alive or dead.
Hmm.
Then you are clearly leading into Scream 8. You're clearly leaning into revealing that he's going to be alive in that movie and that we possibly could get the cult of Ghostface. One way or another, that would have ensured, had you did it this way, that Scream 7 story is going to bleed into Scream 8. And I think that's pivotal because now, without Kevin returning, we don't know what's going to happen with Scream 8. We don't know if they're going to have Scream 7 story bleeding into it. We don't know if they're going to go with another little time jump, maybe a year after the events of Pine Grove's murder spree. This kicks off. We don't know what they're going to do. So
Yeah,
I agree that they should have had this be the ending of the movie. That could have been a cliffhanger.
that would have been so nice.
It would have. It
Especially
really
after
would have.
the. You didn't think Stu was alive, did you? Because that would be dumb. And then someone just mysteriously burns down the Mocker house.
Right. Right. No, I now see that would have worked. Now that would have worked if it would have happened the way you just said it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't have been so upset at the whole, oh yeah, you're calling us dumb. But the crazy thing is, and I'll mention this real quick, and I talked about it in my video the other day, he defies his own logic anyway. Because he
Yes.
says,
Yes.
yeah, Carl's dead, but I will be too. But your daughter missed my head. You gotta shoot him in the
In
head.
the head.
Isn't that right, Stu? So you're acknowledging that Stu was never shot in the head. So if he's
Hmm.
never been shot in the head, that means there's a possibility he could still be
He's
alive.
still alive.
So how are we the ones who's fucking stupid? Like,
Exactly.
it makes no sense that they had him say that. None whatsoever. But yes, I like this idea for sure, Shardison. I wish they would have done
Me
it.
too. That was a good one. That was a
Absolutely.
really good one.
Yo, what's up, Erica Stabs for Likes? What's going on? I hope you're having a great night. I'm sorry you're coming in at the tail end here. We are about to head out here in a couple minutes, but thank you for stopping in. And don't worry, I will be live streaming again tomorrow.
Sick. I'll be tapped in for sure.
Hell yeah. Yo, what's going on? At Dead GHX5T. Okay, you're talking to Shardison. And then you also say the sheer missed opportunity that was Scream 7 literally keeps me up at night, bro. Yeah, it definitely was a missed opportunity. He definitely could have done a lot better. They could have went in different directions. They could have definitely capitalized on things that was set up, not only throughout the movie itself, but over the last two movies. Like the thing that keeps me up at night is how you do not mention the Woodsboro phone number that calls Gail Weathers in Scream 6. That just, especially with what you were doing in this movie, having a killer call Sydney from Woodsboro, like I just don't understand how you missed that opportunity to explain that. I don't get it.
Yeah.
He's also saying, like, the setting of the opening scene was too perfect for it not to have been Stu, and that whole story Marco gave, I thought was perfect. Yeah, I don't agree. I think like Marco defies his own logic. I feel like, yes, he says, oh yeah, you don't believe it was be Stu, did you? Because that'd be dumb. And stuff, but yet in the same sentence a few moments prior, he acknowledges that Stu wasn't shot in the head, making it possible that he could be alive. So yeah, I can't agree with that last part, but I will say the opening scene. I want to say maybe I don't know in regards to being too perfect, but I like the opening scene. I like the setting of it.
I
I thought
loved it.
it was cool. Paula saying real person that Sydney is now, she has PTSD. Oh, see, that's the thing. I mean, she was very protective, obviously, of her, her kids, of, her daughter, but she didn't really strike me as a person who had PTSD in this movie. What about you, Ryan? Did you get that vibe off Sydney in this movie?
No, I didn't. She still let Tatum, walk to school.
Right.
Um, I didn't get PTSD. I got prepared with she had the alarm system and
Yeah.
the panic room, obviously.
Hell yeah. That was a sick ass panic room, too.
I wish she stayed in there, but I understand for herself.
Right? I mean, I get it. Oh, I got to go get your dad. But
Yeah.
speaking of which, Mark, he was awesome. Joel McHale was great. He was my favorite character in the whole movie.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay. I liked Mark. I wasn't sure how Joel McHale would, because I was going to struggle to take him seriously,
Right.
but I thought he did well. I didn't suspect him
Oh no.
um, at all, which was a good thing.
Yes, absolutely. No, I liked him because I mean, granted, we all wanted Patrick Dempsey, but we definitely got some great character development out of him. He was funny in a moment where it called for it, but he wasn't
Yes.
too goofy. He was serious when he needed to be. But I think the thing that impressed me the most is that they had his character have a backbone. Like, for example, when Sydney, says, "When is it the age that they get nice again?" And he looks at her and he's like, "That's on
That's
you."
on you.
Like,
Yep.
like he puts her in her place when the time is needed for it.
Yeah. He's
But he
not
doesn't do
all.
it in a way that's like, "Oh yeah, you're being a bitch right now," or whatever. No, 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 that was on
Mhm.
you. You need to go fix that.
Right. Yeah.
And and plus he had a great fight scene with Ghostface. Like my boy was getting it in. He was fucking. He was throwing them
He,
bones at him.
yeah. It was sick
And
when Sydney kicked the knife and he picked it up.
yeah,
I liked that.
yeah, hell yeah. And he's a tough motherfucker.
He, I don't know how he was alive. That was crazy.
We are in an era of Scream movies where you can get stabbed to death and survive. In Wes Craven's movies, he's Swiss cheese. He's done.
Yeah.
In these newer movies, it's like you have overkill. Look at Jessica's kill. Look at how many times they shot her in the face.
She got she got sliced and diced, bro.
It's like my thing is, it's like they're committed to overkill as an explanation for how these killers can die or these people can die now. And even
Yeah.
sometimes the overkill doesn't kill them.
Hmm.
So it's just like they need to fix that. They need to get back to more believable kill, not just believable kills, but that okay, a motherfucker gets stabbed in the chest a few times. I can believe they could be dead.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna hurt you to stab people 2 or 3 times to make us believe that they could die from that. Why? Because that's how it used to be.
Hmm.
So they definitely missed a lot on this one. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Byron, what's going on, man? Unfortunately, you're hitting the tail end, but I will say, stay tuned tomorrow because I will be going live again, and I'm most likely going to be going live around, I want to say, between the hours of 4 and 6 o'clock, but it's going to be a little bit more of an earlier one. But I will be going live tomorrow, so keep your notifications on so that you can catch tomorrow's live stream.
Definitely. And make sure you guys hype up this one after we get off.
Thank you so much for that, Ryan. I greatly appreciate you, man. Yes, and we are about to head out here, you guys. We've been going for 2 hours and 5 minutes and stuff. It's getting a little bit late. And I do have some things that I do want to take care of, especially to set up for tomorrow. But this was a fun conversation, Ryan, man. I'm super happy that you was able to come on with me tonight. And we got to do this again soon, man, if you're down for it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I had a lot of fun, dude. I don't know a lot of people in my personal life who watch Scream, honestly. I have one friend who I turned into a Scream addict. I pride myself on that. But yeah, I always love hanging out in the streams, and like you said, I don't talk a lot in chat and stuff, but I definitely try to tune in when I can, and I'm always up to date with the videos and stuff. So
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, we're definitely gonna touch base, keep in touch, and we'll do this again for sure, man. This was a great conversation. You know, it went by fast. It's already been 2 hours and it don't even feel like it. Like that's how smooth the conversation went.
yeah, I enjoyed it, man.
Hell yeah, man. And thank you for your continued support, bro. Like I mentioned at the top of the stream, you've been a loyal supporter for about 3 or 4 years now, man. And I greatly appreciate you, just like I greatly appreciate everybody here who shows up and shows me love and shows support to the channel, man. It's greatly appreciated.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much for the great content and the Scream videos, dude.
Oh, I try my best. I try. I do. I love what we like to talk about. You know, I love these movies. You know, it's exhilarating for me, and you know, just guys just got to keep going down this road and enjoy the journey, man. That's all it is to it.
Absolutely. I agree again.
We'll say this real quick before we head out. I do want to touch on this. Carrie saying, "I know she was fake Tatum. She did it all just so she can run off with some creepy y'all fucking around." That's funny as shit. I thought you were talking about like the whole AI fake Tatum thing that I pointed out before the movie came out and all that stuff. Awesome. Val saying that she just subbed to you, Ryan. Awesome. Yes.
Oh,
And
sweet. Thank you so much.
thank you so much for that, Carrie. And Val, anybody else who put Ryan's link in the comment section, thank you guys for doing that. You guys are awesome.
Oh, you guys are the best. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that, Carrie. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, everybody. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Ryan, I'm going to see you backstage. I love every single one of you guys. I will catch you guys tomorrow.
All right. Peace out, guys.